Sheikh Ahmad Gumi remains one of the most controversial figures in Nigeria today. The Kaduna-based Islamic scholar, who previously served as a medical doctor in the Nigerian Army Medical Corps before retiring with the rank of captain, has spent recent years at the center of heated debates about how Nigeria should handle the banditry and terrorism crisis affecting the northern regions. His approach of advocating for dialogue and negotiation with armed groups rather than purely military solutions has made him both a figure of hope for some and a source of anger for many others who see his actions as legitimizing criminal behavior. Throughout 2025, several significant events have actually occurred involving Sheikh Gumi that might have contributed to the spread of false arrest rumors. In May of this year, Saudi Arabian authorities deported him from the country when he attempted to participate in the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Despite being issued a visa by the Saudi government, immigration officials at the Medina airport refused to allow him entry and immediately placed him on a return flight to Nigeria. According to reports from officials at the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Sheikh Gumi was actually aware before traveling that he had been banned from entering Saudi Arabia. The Saudi authorities did not provide official reasons for the deportation, but Gumi himself suggested it was connected to his outspoken views on world politics and international affairs. This was not the first time Sheikh Gumi faced problems with Saudi authorities. Back in 2010, the Saudi government arrested and detained him for over 6 months following intelligence shared by the United States government. The Americans had reportedly uncovered email correspondence between Gumi and Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalab, who became known as the Christmas bomber after attempting to detonate plastic explosives hidden in his underwear aboard a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit on Christmas Day 2009. Abdul Muttalab was later convicted and sentenced to 4 life terms plus 50 years without parole in an American prison. During his time in Saudi custody, Gumi was held under house arrest in Mecca before eventually being released following intervention by the Nigerian government. The situation has become even more intense in recent months. In November 2025, a United Kingdom-based Catholic cleric named Reverend Nick Donnelly publicly called on the International Criminal Court to issue an arrest warrant for Sheikh Gumi. Donnelly made this demand after Gumi appeared in viral videos making controversial statements, including his claim that there is no Christian genocide occurring in Nigeria and his defense of herdsmen, saying they were kidnapping children to make money and that people should be fair with them. Donnelly argued that these statements amount to supporting crimes against humanity and that Gumi should face trial at The Hague in the Netherlands. However, it is critically important to understand that calling for someone to be arrested by the ICC is completely different from that person actually being arrested. The International Criminal Court has not issued any arrest warrant for Sheikh Gumi, and he has not been taken into custody by any international authority. Multiple Nigerian civil rights organizations and religious leaders have also intensified their calls for Sheikh Gumi to be arrested by Nigerian authorities. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, known as HURIWA, has repeatedly demanded that President Bola Tinubu order the immediate arrest and prosecution of the controversial cleric. The organization condemned what it called the federal government's selective application of counter-terrorism laws, pointing out that while Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, has been held in detention for years, Sheikh Gumi continues to move freely despite what they describe as providing moral and propaganda support for terrorists. Prophet Isa El-Buba, the General Overseer of El-Buba Outreach Ministries, went even further by claiming that if the government would simply arrest Sheikh Gumi, Nigeria's security challenges could be resolved in less than 1 week because of his extensive connections to bandit groups operating across the Northwest. Now, at this point in the video, if you are finding this information valuable and you want to stay updated on the real facts behind trending headlines like this one, make sure you hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. We work hard to bring you accurate information and separate truth from rumors, and your support really helps us continue doing this important work. Turn on your notification bell as well, so you never miss when we break down the next big story everyone is talking about. Sheikh Gumi himself has been very vocal in defending his actions throughout 2025. In multiple interviews and statements posted on his social media pages, he has insisted that he committed no crime by engaging with bandits and that his interventions were done with full knowledge and approval of government authorities. He described his critics as spineless, irresponsible, and unpatriotic people who prefer outrage to truth. According to Gumi, whenever he visited bandit camps in forests, he was always accompanied by police officers, Department of State Services personnel, traditional rulers and Fulani leaders, as well as members of the press. He argues that his goal has always been humanitarian, focused on reducing violence and finding peaceful solutions rather than supporting criminal activity. The cleric has also made allegations of his own. In December 2025, during an interview with the BBC Hausa service, Sheikh Gumi accused foreign powers of backing terrorists operating inside Nigeria. He claimed that recent patterns of attacks across the country and a sudden reversal of security improvements in areas like the Abuja Kaduna highway and farmlands in Birnin Gwari, Kaduna State, suggested external support for armed groups. Gumi pointed out that these areas had shown significant signs of improving security, with farmers even returning to their abandoned farmlands before violence suddenly spiked again. He urged the Nigerian government to intensify intelligence operations, strengthen diplomatic engagements, and investigate possible external links, whether diplomatic, logistic, or financial, that might be fueling the insecurity. The controversy surrounding Sheikh Gumi reflects a much larger debate happening across Nigeria and the entire West African region. On one side are those who believe that only military force and hard security measures can defeat these groups, and negotiating with criminals sends the wrong message and potentially rewards bad behavior. On the other hand, are people like Sheikh Gumi, who argue that many of these armed groups are driven by legitimate grievances, such as lack of access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities, and negotiation combined with social programs and properly structured amnesty arrangements, similar to what was done in the Niger Delta, could bring lasting peace. What makes Sheikh Gumi particularly controversial is not just his willingness to talk with bandits, but some of the statements he has made in their defense. He has claimed that these groups do not attack people without cause and that they are on revenge missions, responding to injustices they have suffered rather than waging unprovoked violence. Critics view such statements as victim-blaming and as downplaying the terrible suffering that bandit attacks have caused, including mass kidnappings of school children, murder, rape, and the displacement of entire communities. The fact that someone like Nnamdi Kanu remains in detention while Sheikh Gumi walks free has become for many Nigerians a symbol of what they see as selective justice and unequal application of the law based on religion and ethnicity. Legal experts have weighed in on the situation as well. Lawyer Malcolm Emokinewo Omirhobo described the life sentence handed to Nnamdi Kanu while Sheikh Gumi remains free as clear evidence of Nigeria operating a two-tiered justice system. He pointed out that if broadcasting messages can be considered terrorism, then direct contact, negotiation, and public advocacy for armed groups should constitute far more serious offenses. Omirhobo called on the federal government, the Attorney General, the Department of State Services, and the Nigeria Police Force to apply the same standards of law to all citizens, regardless of their religious or ethnic background. So, what is the truth behind this viral headline claiming Sheikh Gumi has been arrested by the US and ICC? The truth is that as of today, December 17, 2025, no such arrest has occurred. Sheikh Gumi has not been taken into custody by American authorities. The International Criminal Court has not issued any arrest warrant for him. He has not been taken into custody by any international authority. He continues to live and operate freely in Nigeria, conducting his religious activities, giving interviews and posting on social media. The headline appears to be either deliberate misinformation designed to generate clicks and views, or a misunderstanding that confused calls for his arrest with an actual arrest taking place. This situation highlights a serious problem we face in the age of social media and instant information sharing. Sensational headlines spread much faster than corrections or clarifications. People see a shocking claim, share it with their friends and family, and before you know it, millions of people believe something that never actually happened. This is exactly why it is so important to verify information from multiple credible sources before accepting it as true,